Dear friends, masters and gods, a very good evening to you all. Mahavatar TV warmly welcomes you to the 21 days free holistic wellness program, batch 25, day 6. So before commencing the session, I would like to say pranams to you all, our Guruji Ranganath sir, our Grandmaster Maharshi Patriji, our great Grandmaster Mahavatar Babaji, and to all the great Grandmasters and to the viewers. So today's topic is Ashtavakra Gita part 1. So we have Parnil madam here. So welcome you madam. So madam is a spiritual counselor and healer who has been helping people live better and happier through her guidance and teachings. So before starting her journey, spiritual journey, Madam has worked for 13 years as a costume designer and stylist in the TV and film industry. So Madam also started her own fashion brand, showing her creativity and hard work. So for the past 15 years, Madam has been part of Art of Living Foundation and is certified teacher and Art of Living Happiness program. Madam also trained in healing yoga and many healing methods. So today, Madam conducts meditation, yoga, and pranayama sessions and gives life counseling and spiritual guidance to help people live healthier and more peaceful lives. So let us warmly welcome Parnil Madam. And Madam shares her knowledge and wisdom with us today. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Lokesh. Good evening, friends and all the masters. I welcome you all to this beautiful, very sublime session of Ashtavakra Gita, Part 1. Firstly, I would like to thank all the masters who gave me an opportunity to be a part of Mahavatar Foundation. Deepika ma'am, Pallavi ma'am, the great Ranganath Sirji, the great master Patri Sirji, and the great grandmaster Mahavatar Babaji. I thank the foundation from the bottom of my heart for giving me this wonderful opportunity and to be a part of your and mine spiritual growth. So we'll just ground our energy for 2 minutes. Let's all sit comfortably and close our eyes. Take a normal breath in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. We'll say a small prayer. Oh Lord, grant us the courage and the strength to absorb this knowledge and take charge of this session and help us on our onward spiritual journey. Thank you. So today's topic is Ashtavakra Gita. Can I ask if there is anybody who has read Ashtavakra Gita or can put some light of what the knowledge is that we are going to talk about? Anybody can come forward? Anybody is interested? Lokesh ji? Okay. So this Ashtavakra Gita, I am going to take the session, is written by Swami Nitya Swarup Nanda, and it is from the Advaita Ashram. So there are many writers have written the Ashtavakra Gita. So there all could be variations. This is one of them which I am going to take the session on. Ashtavakra Gita is a dialogue which is presented between King Janaka and the sage Ashtavakra. Now, what he says, the writer says, is it's not sure whether the King Janaka is the same Janaka as from the times of Ramayana, but more or less the ideology is the same. So we assume it's the same King Janaka's time period that this the Ashtavakra Gita was written. Now there is a story about Ashtavakra. The story goes like this, that when his mother was expecting him, his father was called Kahor. He was a great scholar of the Shastras and the scriptures and of the Vedas. And he used to recite these even in front of the mother. And like this, Ashtavakra absorbed all the knowledge from just by listening from the womb. One day, when Kahor was reciting some verse, a voice came from inside the womb saying that, your father, you are reading, you are reciting wrong scriptures. And he corrected his father. At this, the father, Kahor, got very angry that how can a child who's not even born correct me? And how dare he? And so he cursed this child in the womb only, saying that you will be deformed and curved at 8 places. And that is why the name Ashtavakra, Ashta means 8 and Vakra means curves. So the child, when the child was born, he was really deformed in 8 places and he was called Ashtavakra. Later on in this book, the story goes that Ashtavakra um grew up, and when he was around 10 or 12 years old, his father, who used to go to the palace of the king Janaka, he would go and have debates about the Vedas and Shastras. He goes one day, actually, he goes to beg for some money, he's in need of money. And there he meets Vandi, who is the son of Varuna, and he is one of the greatest scholars. And Vandi asks him to get into a debate of the Shastras, and they both get into a debate, and eventually Vandi wins and Kahor loses. And so Vandi gives a punishment to Kahor that now you have to go to the sea. You went drown in the sea. For some time, you have to live in the sea. Now, when Ashtavakra hears this, he feels very bad and he comes to the palace. First, he is not allowed, but later, when he recites the Shastras, everybody is very impressed and they cordially invite him inside. King Janaka was very fond of all the scriptures and spiritual knowledge, and he had collected many scholars um, in his palace who would keep uh, guiding him about the knowledge. And so they invited Ashtavakra inside, and Ashtavakra then got into a debate with Vandi again, and finally he defeated Vandi, and he asked Vandi to release his father. Kahor was then released from the sea, and when Kahor came back and he embraced his son Ashtavakra, he was very impressed, and he asked Ashtavakra to have a bath in a river called Samanga, and they say that he was completely normal again. But still, he was called Ashtavakra. Now, the story about how the Ashtavakra Gita was recited is this, that one day King Janaka was sleeping in his chamber, and in his sleep he got a dream. And in that dream, he was fighting a battle, and it was a very intense battle, and the enemy was very powerful. And he loses the battle, he loses his army, he loses all his people, he loses his horse also, and he starts running in the jungles. And he has lost his kingdom because the enemy takes over the kingdom, takes over everything. And in this state where he has become a beggar, he goes running, he sees an ashram, he goes and begs for food over there. And when little food is given to him, he tries to eat it. A bird comes and takes away that food also. And he's not even getting that morsel of food. So he is very distraught and very disturbed as to what has happened to him. From a king, he has become a pauper. At that time only, since it was a dream, his wife, the queen, she wakes him up. And he is very perplexed as to what he saw. He wonders whether that dream was real, or whether when he gets up, he sees and he is in his palace only, whether this is real, that he is the king. And already he is a seeker and he is on the spiritual path. So this incident makes him more anxious to know the truth. And so then he tells his people, his ministers, to go searching for anybody who can explain this dream to him. And many people come, but he's not satisfied with anyone's answers. And then they get Ashtavakra, and Ashtavakra finally sits in his chamber. And this is the dialogue that Ashtavakra and King Janaka have, which is called the Ashtavakra Gita. And finally, Ashtavakra Gita gives him the knowledge of self realization. So that is how Ashtavakra Gita was formed. And Ashtavakra Gita is based on the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta. It is a non-dualistic tradition where it emphasizes that the self, that is the Atman, and the Brahman, that is the cosmic intelligence, are identical. There is no duality between the two; they are the same. And it shows us a direct path to self-realization and liberation, where the focus is on the oneness of existence and the need for detachment from the material world if we are to understand and get self-realization. It is a philosophical discourse between King Janaka and Ashtavakra, where through questions and answers, the final ultimate truth is revealed. And it provides a direct and sublime approach to self knowledge, and it is one of the most refined texts of Advaita Vedanta. Now, what are the key themes of Ashtavakra Gita? I'll just sum them up and then we'll start reading the chapters. And in this session, I will take only one chapter. We'll take one, two chapters in one session, and we'll go through the entire Ashtavakra Gita. So, the key themes of Ashtavakra Gita, the first is non dualism. Advaita. Advaita means only non-dualism. The core theme of Ashtavakra Gita is that there is only one ultimate reality, and that is the Brahman, the cosmic intelligence, and everything else, the world, the universe, is a manifestation of that Brahman. The second point is self-realization or moksha. Here the text guides the seeker that we are the non-dual self. It makes us aware that we are the non-dual self and we can achieve liberation from bondage or moksha from bondage. Then the third one is detachment and equanimity. So, Ashtavakra Gita emphasizes that we need to practice detachment from pain and sorrow and become steadfast and equanimous in our own inner self. And then only we will be able to get liberated. Then the fourth one is witness consciousness. It emphasizes the need to develop a witness consciousness, which is that we must just observe our thoughts and experiences like a witness and not get entangled in them. And the fifth one is freedom from bondage. So it teaches us how to transcend the mind, the body, and even the ego. Once we have transcended these three things, we realize that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the ego, we are the self. Then we become free and liberated. Now, Bhagavad Gita, the difference between the two Gitas is that Bhagavad Gita was set up in a battlefield. He gave the discourse on Bhagavad Gita, whereas this Gita was in a peaceful setting in the chambers of the king Janaka. So, anybody has any questions as of now only, we can take them because by the end of it, you may forget everything. So if you anybody has any questions on non-dualism, self-realization, detachment and equanimity, witness consciousness and freedom from bondage, do come forward.
Masters have
No,
any questions? Advice.
you can ask questions because this topic is very deep and it needs to be understood just by listening half-heartedly. It's a very, very deep. When I listened to Ashtavakra Gita, I was completely transformed. I literally came into the witness consciousness and I felt that I had moved away from the material world and I was just a witness, witnessing the entire world. So that is the power of Ashtavakra Gita, and they say that those who are not ready will not even come to listen to this. And those who are listening to this are ready. And if you will absorb this with full truthfulness, then you can get totally transformed just by listening to this. So, anybody want to ask any questions? No, Lokeshji?
No, madam. I think all are.
Huh?
I think all are in the same in the stage of accepting this and
Okay. Okay. So, the first chapter is the introduction on self realization. So, I'll be reading the lines and a little bit I will explain it. The first line, it starts with Janaka asks, how can knowledge be acquired? How can liberation be attained? How is renunciation possible? Tell me this, O Lord. So, Janaka is asking this to Ashtavakra. He wants to get knowledge. Knowledge means he wants to get the realization of the self or Brahman. And liberation, he wants to get liberated from pain, from sorrow. He wants to get liberated from the body consciousness. And liberation also means the complete destruction of all misery and attainment of the supreme bliss. So, whenever anybody, any seeker comes on the spiritual path, the core reason is only this, that we are fed up of our misery of the worldly life. And that is how we start seeking something more which can give us peace and contentment and happiness. So, this path leads you to freedom from this misery. Now, the next, what is the meaning of renunciation? Renunciation is the non attachment to the enjoyment of the objects of this world. Right now, how we are attached to the objects of the world. If we like something, we want that thing. If we don't get it, we become unhappy with that thing. So on and so forth. So, but he says that renunciation is one of the basic qualifications required for an aspirant who comes on the path of spiritual knowledge. Because if he is so attached to everything, his mind will never become free from there and ponder over, the self, over the knowledge. He will not get his answers. So the one of the basic requirement is that there needs to be some detachment from the objects of the world. Then he says there are three other qualifications, and one is that acquisition of the six cardinal moral virtues. So every seeker needs to have these before he starts on the path of self realization, without which he will not achieve it, because these moral virtues are required for the purification of the mind and the body. So the six virtues are the regulation of the body, of the mind, regulation of the sense organs, forgiveness, sincerity, compassion, contentment, and truth. So what is the meaning of regulation of the mind? That means if your mind is all over the place and if it's only in a hyper state always, it is never going to understand the knowledge of this self. We will not even be ready to listen to this knowledge. So first, through some meditation, through some knowledge, we have to ground and make our mind little stable. The second is the regulation of the sense organs. What does it mean? It means that if we are watching too much TV, we are listening to music whole day, if we are gossiping the whole day, we are talking the whole day, all these sense organs, or if we are too engrossed in eating good food. So all these sense organs, if we are not, they are not regulated, then we will not be able to understand the knowledge of self. So some regulation in a limited way, we have to eat food, limited listening of music, or talking less. All these things we have to follow. And of course, forgiveness, you need to be in that forgiving energy. You can't hold some grudge against your own self or against somebody, then also you won't come close to the knowledge. Sincerity, which is a very important point. Sincerity means that you need to be sincere. Many people, they come on the path, spiritual path, seeking knowledge as if it is some kind of a fashion also. Oh, I want to be a great scholar. That's why I want to acquire this knowledge. That should not be the reason. With full humility, you need to be sincere that I really wish to get self realized. And of course, compassion. You need to have compassion towards everybody, towards plants, animals, all human beings. You can't, have anger and rigidity. Then also you won't come close to the knowledge. And contentment. Basically, once we are a little content from inside, from our worldly life, it is only then we can progress spiritually. If we are very dissatisfied, we're always unhappy that I didn't get this, I didn't get the promotion, I didn't get money, I want more, then also we will never come on the path to self realization. And finally, truth, which is very important. You need to be truthful to your own self and you need to be truthful to others also. Most of the times, you see people are saying something, but they are having something else in their mind. So, you need to be true and you need to be truthful. So, these are the basic qualifications according to Ashtavakra that one must have to attain self realization. Now, what is the answer Ashtavakra gave? He said, if you aspire after liberation, my child, shun the objects of the senses as poison and seek forgiveness, sincerity, kindness, contentment, and truth as nectar. So already I have explained all these things. He says that the objects of the senses, they are like poison. And what is nectar? Nectar is sincerity, forgiveness, kindness, contentment, and truth. So we must shun the poison and embrace the nectar. And what objects he's talking about? He's talking about the objects, the worldly objects. We must not get entangled with them. We must not have attachment with them. And mainly this thought that this is mine, this house is mine, this property is mine. This kind of attachment we must let go. So, sincerity and truth have already spoken about that. Truth also is required for the purification of the mind. So, all these six things, they are required for the purification of the mind and the body. And once the purification happens, then only we can move towards the realization of the self. And in the beginning of the Ashtavakra Gita, also the writer has mentioned that it is necessary in he, according to him also, and I also feel like that you must self realization can be attained under a guru uh, who has tasted truth himself, so that he can make you come face to face with the truth, is what most gurus say. But today you can even listen to knowledge yourself and practice meditation and get self realized. So then he continues, Ashtavakra continues, you are neither earth nor water, nor fire, nor air, nor ether. In order to attain liberation, know the self as the witness of all these and consciousness itself. So, the five elements, we are made up of the five elements. And because we identify ourselves with this body, which is made up of the five elements, that is why we become miserable. So he says, you are not these five elements, you are not this body. But he says that our self is a witness to everything around us. Our liberation is in knowing the self. So, how can we get liberated? Is by knowing the self. And not by listening to the knowledge, by actually experiencing the self. Then he continues, if you detach from the body and rest in intelligence, you will at once be happy, peaceful, and free from bondage. So he says you must detach from the body. Now, somebody may ask, how can you detach from the body? Because we feel that we are the body only. But when you meditate and when you go in the Savikalp Samadhi, that is the time you will realize you will transcend the body and you will experience the self. So that is what he is asking us to do. Why and where the misery is coming from, it's coming from the body only, because body is connected to birth, death, and disease, right? And that is why we are always miserable. We are worrying about death, we are troubled by disease. So he says that we must transcend the body consciousness. The self is really not the body. So, if we can get rid of this identification, we shall at once be conscious that we are the chitta and thus become happy and free from bondage. So he says immediately you will become happy. The day you realize that you are the self, actually this knowledge, how much ever it has been written about it, and my own experiences, that it can never be put into words. It's so deep and it is so profound that it can be only experienced. Then he continues, you do not belong to the Brahman or any other caste or any ashrama. You are not perceived by the eyes, unattached, formless, and witness of all are you. Be happy. So here he says you are do not belong to any caste. So, Brahman, Sudra, Kshatriya, he says you actually don't belong to any caste and neither do you belong to any ashramas. What is the ashramas? The four ashramas are the Brahmacharya ashram, the Grihastha ashram, the Vanaprastha ashram, and the Sannyas ashram. He says actually you are neither of them. So most of us we feel now, most of them who are married feel or we are caught up in the grahastha ashram and we feel that we are feel the bondage and we feel entangled and we don't feel liberated. So he's asking us to think that we are not in any ashrama. We are above all these stages. We are above all these castes also of being a Brahman or a Sudra or anything. Earlier they used to say that only the Brahmins can achieve this divine knowledge. The Sudras can't do it. But he asks us to rise above these things. And neither caste, ashram, or any such thing can bind you. One must realize oneself as above such obligations as unattached and formless. So, the moment we think that we are unattached, because we think we are married, we feel we are attached. But if we can think that we are above all this, then the moment you think like this, you become free and you become happy. Then he continues, virtue and vice, pleasure and pain are of the mind, not of you, O all pervading one. You are neither doer nor enjoyer. Verily, you are free. So he says, you are neither the doer, actually, you are not doing anything in this world. There is only one doer, and that is the Brahman. And neither are you enjoying. If you are in the witness consciousness, you are just observing, then neither are you doing anything and neither are you enjoying anything. And he also says that virtue and vice, pleasure and pain. So, we get caught up in this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. But if we raise ourselves from all these above, go above all these things, then we are free. And pleasure and pain, we identify ourselves with the mind, and hence they are wrongly ascribed to the self. So, where is the pain coming from? The mind is giving us pain, isn't it? And where is this vices also coming? Vices means some bad habits we have. They are also coming because of our mind. So, once you release your attachment to the mind, automatically these pain, these vices and virtues, they all disappear. You are the one seer of all and really ever free. Verily, this alone is your bondage, that you see the seer as other than such. Now, seer means the witness consciousness. So he's saying you think that you and the Brahman are separate. That is why you are having this misery in your life. The moment you look at yourself as that the seer, that myself and the Brahman is one, everything becomes very easy to understand and you become free. Then the next he says is, do you who have been bitten by the great black serpent of egoism, I am the doer, drink the nectar of the faith, I am not the doer, and be happy. So when we say, na, I am the doer, I am doing this, I am doing the job, I am running the house, when you are in this state of doership, that is the time you are miserable. And when you come into this nectar of faith that I am not the doer, actually, who is doing everything? It is the Brahman who is doing everything in this world through us. So everybody is having a role in this world. Like I'm giving this knowledge, all are listening. It's all happening by the cosmic intelligence. He is making all this happen. So, this faith you should have that I am not the doer. And the black serpent he calls is ego. The ego that we have, that I am great, I am doing this, I am giving this lecture. That is, he calls it as the black serpent. And this black serpent is so deadly that it causes spiritual death. So, till you have ego, till you think you are something, you are the doer, you will never achieve self realization. And nectar of I am not the doer, that gives us freedom. So, once the ego is destroyed, that is the time self realization happens. He says this universe has no self, real existence. It is the self pure consciousness and supreme bliss in which this universe is imagined to exist through ignorance. Consciousness remains eternally pure and unaffected. We are that consciousness. Therefore, we must cease identifying ourselves with any of these. So, whatever we are seeing in this world, we are seeing this world, we are seeing everything. Actually, it is only imagined by the cosmic intelligence. And just by imagining, the cosmic intelligence has created all this. So, it's not real. This world is not real. It's just an illusion. That's what he is saying. One, then burn down the forest of ignorance with the fire of the understanding that I am the one pure awareness, and be happy and free from distress. So, this is the ignorance. He calls it the forest of ignorance. That is, this world is real. Come out of this ignorance and realize that I am the one pure awareness, and be happy and free from distress. Again and again, he repeats the state of being happy. And how can we be happy? We can be happy when we realize the self. That in which all this appears imagined like the snake in a row, that joy, supreme joy and awareness is what you are. So be happy. So you are that supreme joy, you are that supreme awareness. Once you realize that, you become happy. So he orders again and again, be happy. Then he continues, one who considers oneself free is free indeed, and one who considers oneself bound remains bound. As one thinks, so one becomes, is a popular saying in this world, which is true. So he says, when we come on the path also, many people used to tell me that, you know, you can't get liberated. It's not in your hands. It is in the divine's hand. Only divine will decide when you will get liberated. Till that time, we don't know how many times you have to come on this earth. But what Ashtavakra Gita is saying is very profound. He is saying the moment you think, you start having this thought that I am free, I am liberated, you will become free and liberated. This thought that I am bound, I am not liberated, I am entangled, is not allowing you to get liberated. So do not have these thoughts that I cannot get liberation, I cannot be free, I cannot realize the self. These thoughts are only actually hampering you from achieving self realization. The self is witness, all pervading, perfect, one, free intelligence, actionless, unattached, desireless, and quiet. Through illusion, it appears it is if it is of the world, bound by the desires of the world and involved in the cycle of birth and rebirth, unlike the self. So now he has explained how the self is. The self is witness. It is a witness. It just observes. It's all pervading, means it's everywhere. It is perfect. It is absolute perfection. And it is free. The self is free. It is cosmic intelligence. And it is actionless. So it is not the doer. It is unattached. It has no attachments. And it is desireless and quiet. It has no desires and it is quiet. That is why when we realize the self, we become desireless, we become quiet, we come in the witness consciousness, and we achieve a character of perfection. Through illusion, it appears that the self is of the world, but actually it is free from everything. Then he continues, meditate on the Atman as immovable intelligence and non dual, having given up external and internal self modifications and the illusion, I am the reflected self. So he says that the Atma is immovable intelligence and it is non dual, that it is not caught up in good, bad, it is not caught up in anything, and come out of this illusion that I am the reflected self, that I am something other than the Brahman. Come out of this illusion. He continues by saying, you are unattached, actionless, self effulgent, and without any blemish. This indeed is your bondage that you practice samadhi. Now, this again is a very profound thing that he is saying. That he is saying you are unattached. Obviously, when you realize the self, you feel you are unattached, you're actionless, self effulgent, which means the light is radiating from your own self. You don't need some outer person or thing to enlighten you. And without any blemish. Once you become self realized, you become blemishless. Means you have no fault in you. And this indeed is your bondage that you practice samadhi. Now, how profound is Ashtavakra? He says that because you don't realize that you are all these things, that is why you are practicing samadhi. You are sitting in samadhi thinking that then I will become all these things. But actually, you are already the self. You're already perfect. You're already unattached. You're already blemishless. And that is what you have to realize. Self is ever free, yet we betake samadhi and similar other practices. And have you seen many people, lifetimes after lifetimes, they go on continue spiritual practices and still do not achieve self realization? The reason is that we have not realized that we are already in that state. We don't need to do anything to be in the state. We already are the self. So again, he says, one who thinks he is free, and one who considers himself bound is bound. Again, he emphasizes on this fact. Then he continues, you pervade this universe, and this universe exists in you. So, what does he say? He says that you pervade, means yourself is in the entire universe, and the entire universe is within you only. So we behold the entire universe, and we, like fools, are going around looking for this outside of our self. Once we realize that we have the whole universe within us, we will never feel the need of running after any worldly object. We have to just think, meditate, and have a slight, intention, and things come to you effortlessly. Then he continues that you pervade the universe, and this universe exists in you. You are really pure consciousness by nature. And then he urges us not to be small minded. So we become small minded now by thinking that, oh, I can't, get liberation. I cannot achieve self realization. I don't know how many lifetimes it will take me. So all this is being small minded. Then he continues, you are unconditional, immutable, formless, unimpassioned, unfathomable intelligence, and unperturbed, and have desire for chit alone. So you are unconditioned. That means there is no condition in you. You are immutable. That means you are unchanging. That means you are always the same. The self is always the same. Formless, it has no form. Unimpassioned, it is devoid of any passions. We have so many passions, desires, so it does not have any of these passions. And it is unfathomable, means we cannot understand the depth of the self. It is, we cannot imagine, it is unfathomable. And unperturbed means it just doesn't get disturbed. And that is why once we achieve self realization, we stop getting disturbed by the outside noises, we stop getting disturbed by any emotion, we stop getting disturbed by the climate, the good, the bad, by the situations happening in our life. We just stop getting affected by all these things. Know that which has form to be unreal and the formless to be permanent. Through this spiritual instruction, you will escape the possibility of rebirth. So, how can you escape the possibility of rebirth? That we must understand that we are not the form, we are not this body, we are formless, we are that self. Just as a mirror exists within and without the image reflected in it, even so the Supreme Lord exists inside and outside this body. Only the mirror exists. That means what? The self is like a mirror. So it is only reflecting these incidents that are happening in our life. It's just a reflection of our thoughts. Actually, this is not real. So if you will think that, today my work will be done, so exactly the mirror, the self will reflect that, and in the day your work will be done. If you will think that my work will not be done, the self, that is the mirror, will reflect that only, and your work will not be done. So the self is just like a mirror, and it is only reflecting what you are thinking. The image in the mirror has no real existence. Mind, body, exists, etc., have no real existence. It is only by being superimposed on the self that they appear to exist. So these incidents that are happening outside our body, this world that we are seeing, it is like as if they are all superimposed on the self. They are not real. And what have we been doing up till now? We've been thinking that this world is real, Our body is real. All that we see and hear and touch and smell, we think that is real. Whereas that is not real and the self is real. Just as the reflection cannot affect the mirror, so body, mind, etc. cannot affect the self. So if you see now, if you have looked at yourself in the mirror is just there, right? Sometimes you are coming and standing in front of the mirror. Sometimes somebody else is standing. Sometimes you're laughing in front of the mirror. Sometimes you're crying. But does anything happen to the mirror? No. The mirror is just as it is, and that is how our self is. As the same all pervading ether is inside and outside a jar, even so the eternal, all pervasive Brahman exists in all things. So now he says space. He calls Brahman as space. Have you seen space? Is if there is a jar, that space is inside the jar also, and there is space outside the jar. So space is everywhere. So he calls Brahman as space. It is all pervasive, it exists in all things. So all that we see and all that we don't see, everything is made up of this Brahman. So that's the last line of the first chapter, and we'll continue the chapters in the next sessions. And even if you have not caught all the points in this session, you can see the video. And what you can do is, write down your questions. And as we are progressing, you can ask the questions and I will try to answer all of them. So today we end the session here. I hope that it's one of the most profound topics. It's one of the most profound knowledge book that I have ever read, and I really transformed and I experienced the witness consciousness after reading, after listening to Ashtavakra Gita. So I hope it does the same to whoever is listening to this, and think about it, ponder over whatever the Gita is saying, Ashtavakra Gita is saying, and it will surely help you to transform. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the great wisdom. So deep understanding should be there to understand this concept. So when the king Janaka approaches Ashtavakra, so he is already spiritual mature, I think, because he didn't ask for pleasure, power, or anything. He directly asked for moksha. So he was in that state, I think. Liberation begins with a sincere longing to be free from inner bondage, he thought. So that is why he asked for moksha only. So from his words, we got to know different concepts like you are nothing, you are neither the air, neither the fire, nor the space, nothing. So self-realization concept and detachment concepts are is also learned from chapter 1. Madam. So thank you, madam. So
Thank you. Anybody has any questions, we'll take them, or you can go for meditation.
any masters have any questions, you can raise your hand. So we'll go for meditation. Madam. Please guide us with meditation.
I should take meditation.
Yes, madam. I will be playing music if needed, madam. You just
They'll
give
do
instruction.
the Anapanasati meditation, no, today?
Yes.
Huh.
You guide
We'll
us
do
with
the
the.
Anapanasati meditation today. And next
Okay.
time, no, I'll prepare an infinity meditation. It's a very, very deep meditation. I'll prepare for that. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So all sit You can then put on the music. Let's all sit comfortably and easily and close our eyes. You can cross your legs or sit on a chair. Spine should be erect. Eyes closed. A sweet smile on your face. Take a normal breath in and breathe out. Take another deep breath in and breathe out. You can put your attention in front of your nostrils and start observing the incoming breath. The incoming breath gives you positivity and energy, and the outgoing breath releases all your stress and negativity. Observe your incoming breath and release your outgoing breath. Now put all your attention on the breathing. Observe your thoughts. If there are any thoughts coming, bring your attention back to your breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Continue putting your focus on your incoming breath and outgoing breath. चालू रहना है इस बात तक।
Masters, the last 1 minute. Feel the breath coming in and going. Slowly bring attention back to the body consciousness. The last 10 seconds, masters. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently rub your hands together, generating warm energy. When you are ready, place your palms over your eyes. Feel the pressure, feel the energy for 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Open your eyes, looking at your palms. Just drop them over your head, your face. We have done wonderful meditation, masters. Let's thank Universe and Mahavatar Foundation for giving us this platform to learn wisdom from many masters. And let's thank all the masters who attended the session. Thank you all. Please don't miss the session tomorrow. See you all tomorrow.